It was a wooden house, the tower.
Right.
And
That's the one they bulldozed.
that's where the Indian incident happened.
Right.
Not at the brick house.
That makes
So,
better
yeah,
sense.
because it was older. So it's kind of cool.
You guys want to have a seat? The meeting's going to start in about a minute. I got to stand. If you guys want to sit down, you're welcome to sit down. So.
Santa Claus needs to bring you one of these. Santa Claus needs to bring you a new one of these. No, I don't need that. No, my grandkids are 3 states away.
So it's just like the one you fill out for the school, and then this is.
Most of them are graduated already. One left in this and one that's in daycare.
That's yours, what? Fill out.
Be just a moment while we're getting the recorder going. It looks like it's
Yeah.
the lock, so I think it would be down to the unlock is all the way down.
So what does your weather genie say about road conditions? That's not supposed to start till like midnight, so is it?
Okay, so it's 12:01, the meeting will now come to order, and we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Anyone please stand? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We do have meeting minutes from the last meeting. I have not had time to adequately go through them. I would like to hold off until the next meeting to approve them unless anyone has any comments they'd like to add to that.
I've looked them over, but if you guys haven't, that's fine. I'll make a second that we hold until the next meeting to approve. Lovely.
Laura, roll call vote?
Yes. Your vote, first of all.
My vote.
To hold the meeting.
The whole minutes till the next meeting.
Yes, they were thick. They were a lot of omission.
Yes, okay. Roll call vote. Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And Tiffany?
Yes. Communications, I do have a communication from Commissioner Sabrina Christian Bennett about the Marks Towers. There were some inquiries about that. You and I briefly talked about that. Today, they're supposed to be starting the first of the 3 Marks Towers in our county. Ours is going to be started after that. So when that one is completed, they should start the second. That's a really broad update, but that's the information that we have. So we are next on the list. Any other communications?
Yes.
Okay, Nancy?
I have a letter from a Deerfield resident. Dear Deerfield Township Trustees, I am a 45-year resident of Deerfield Township. My family goes back 100 years here. I have some concerns I want to share regarding a few issues. First, I have concerns regarding the fire department. Both my husband and I have heart conditions. If it wasn't for the fast response of EMS, by Lon Sutcliffe and Chuck Little coming to our aid, neither of us would be here today. We have never had to worry about fire EMS in all the years we have lived here. Now we see Sebring EMS in Deerfield often, and I passed Lexington Township fire trucks heading east on State Route 224 just last week. I have family that lives in Sebring, and I know how far away it is. If we have a heart problem, how long are we going to wait for EMS? Secondly, the circle, which is what Deerfield is known for, looks like a crime scene. My husband and I drive around it several times a day. It has been in a state of disrepair for months on end. The circle is a source of crime for this town. When can we expect repairs to begin? Lastly, I watch these trustee meetings on YouTube due to my work schedule. I saw a fuss over the old town hall ceiling. I have been in that town hall many times over the years, and the ceiling was falling down. They had bowls and buckets to catch the debris falling from it. That ceiling needed repaired long ago, and I'm glad they finally fixed it. I have not been in the town hall since the ceiling was repaired, but I saw the picture on Facebook. My husband saw it too. We think it looks very nice and am very happy it has finally been fixed. The fuss should be over getting the circle repairs made. The other fuss should be getting our fire department back to the quality our residents are accustomed to. Thank you. Kim Cooper. She lives on Sheppleton Road in Deerfield.
Any other communications?
Ed, is there a microphone or something you can pass
You
around?
can't
Nobody
hear
can
nothing.
hear anything you're saying.
No, we have no.
We don't have a microphone?
And I'm gonna bring that up later on in our meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Were you able to hear any of it?
Nothing.
Can't hear nothing.
I don't know what the letter was about, but I guess it was.
I think
If you'd like a record of it, just let us know. If you'd like a record of it, just let us know.
We can get you a copy.
We can get you a copy
Okay.
if you'd like, but
Please.
just make a request. Any other communications? Ed, Laura,
Not for me.
Nancy? We'll go to department updates, and we'll start off with the fire department.
Okay. First, I'd like to discuss on the Thursday, the 18th, we had a devastating house fire here in the township on Railroad. We lost the house. The house was pretty well gone before we even got home. But I'd like to recognize a couple people from that. The dispatcher that took the call, and the little 11-year-old Melissa that actually made the phone call.
I think she's here.
They're both here. So I'd like them to come up and talk, give a point of view of what they did, how calm they were. I was told that little Melissa was excellent on the phone, but we'll let Terry explain that. So Terry and Melissa, if you guys would like to come forward.
Terry, could you tell everyone who you are and what your job is?
Sure, I'm Terry Haddad. I am employed by the city of Ravenna. We dispatch for the Deerfield Fire Department. As I believe it was Thursday? Yes. Correct. On Thursday, received a call from a very calm 11-year-old girl reporting that her house was on fire. There was smoke, there were flames. She remained completely cool, calm, and collected, which made my job a lot easier. I was able to get the information needed. While I was talking to Alyssa, my partners were getting mutual aid en route, and we were getting equipment started that, the Deerfield Fire Department needed to combat the fire. And at one point, we talked a little bit about everybody being out of the residence, which thank goodness everybody was. There were some things that she was concerned about that were still in the residence, like her favorite stuffed animal, but thank goodness that stuff can be replaced, and she did a great job. And in talking to her, she explained that she learned in elementary school about calling 911 and staying calm and providing the needed information so that, we can do our job, and it makes our job a lot easier.
Great job.
Sounds like you were really brave.
Where do you go to school? Well, good job for Southeast teaching you what to do. Good for them.
Do you have anything you want to say?
Just if there's ever an emergency and you need to call 911, just make sure you remain calm so that way their job is a lot easier.
Good advice.
on the same aspect, the homeowner, Bob Beach, is here. We'd like to say a couple things about the call.
Yes, I just wanted to take a minute and say thank you for the great job you guys did. I do want to state that during the whole incident, I was on the road. I was notified. The department talked to me about if there's going to be anybody in the home, what was there. They were made aware that there was nobody because I was in contact with them. So everything that was done as far as keeping my garage and the other things as best we could. The home was already gone. There was no, we couldn't get past that. So what they did, in my opinion, was outstanding. Nobody was hurt. My family's here. I mean, none of their people were hurt. The propane tank, from my understanding, was steaming. They took care of that, got that down. Like I said, the garage is intact. I had some stuff in the one room that we had communicated that probably wouldn't be good if it got hot. They attended to that, and everything was able to be taken out without anybody, again, getting hurt. So, great job. Thanks very much. Tell your team I said thank
you. Also on the same fire, I'd like to bring up, one of the important things is smoke detectors. He just replaced the smoke detectors in his house, and they did their job and alerted him. So just for everybody in the community, use your smoke detectors.
You didn't have them before, you upgraded them, or what'd you do?
When I joined the fire department, when we were talking, we were doing that, I was doing the videos. And then after the videos, I went home, I had to replace them all, put new. After we woke her up. So that smoke detector, because they were actually asleep.
Very good.
Sorry for your loss.
I'm so sorry, I can't imagine, I'm glad everybody's okay.
Thank you. Okay, also, just to report on the same day, Thursday the 18th, we had another fire in the township at a business down on 14. We are investigating that still further. State Farm Marshals will be in with us this week. We're going to go in and review the place a little bit further. There was just 3 injuries, but very little fire damage. So we're, just to give you an update, we're working on that. Okay, also, the time clock that we brought up, we are working on the time clock. We've had some issues with that. It was discovered that somebody tried to plug a computer into it, to our time clock, and change some passwords and stuff on there that they shouldn't have been doing. So we're put a protection on for that. So the IT guy is going to try to figure this out, what to do further, how to get it to work. But that also goes right into effect with Tiffany. When I talked to you the other day, when you and Laura met with the security company down there, you said that you found something. What was that, so I can tell him that you guys discovered?
Yeah, we'll have to discuss that today. For the first time, I was able to try to get access to the security system with Dave Saltzman. I met him at the fire department, and the internet has been disconnected from our security cameras. Not directly from the security box, but from somewhere else in the building that cannot be immediately fixed. Brought him over to the town hall here, and unfortunately the same incident had occurred. The internet is hooked up and working in the building, but has been somehow disconnected from the security system. In order to get both of those issues fixed, it will be a service call for both buildings, and I believe he said it was $125 or $150 per service call. I would like to make a motion to hire Dave Saltzman to do that work and get both of them connected so we can have access to the security system.
I have a question before we proceed. what's not working, they're recording and everything. If something happens, we can go back and view the incident and stuff, can't we?
Per Dave, that's not downloadable and it's not accessible. You can see it, but it can't be transferred, it can't be used because the internet is disconnected.
I didn't know that.
He said he hooked it up himself and.
Yeah, that's who we hired originally.
And something has been, I don't know if it's been tampered with or an act of nature, I don't know. He doesn't know until he can look at it a little further, so, that's the issue.
So when are we gonna do this again? I didn't know anything about this was going on.
You can download on those.
Yeah.
Dave Saltzman says the internet has been disconnected, so we're not able to.
We don't need
transfer.
you don't need the internet to download it.
He says you do.
Well, I know for a fact you don't.
That's how he got the red truck in the parking lot.
Yeah, I've never had access to it. That's what I was trying to establish when he was here. So,
I've downloaded several.
and we can't be added on without the internet being hooked up. You
I
can't
mean, what
add
do we
new
need that
users.
for?
So I can access it, so Laura can access it, so we can all access it.
So you can watch it from your phone at home?
So
Like
we would have
people
an
up
app
there?
you have an app that where it is accessible. That all the trustees would be able to access that.
Well, I don't want to be able to watch it from home, honestly. I mean, I want to be able to go back and see if there's an incident. I don't want to sit on my computer or phone and watch the guys work, because that would, what's the purpose of it?
I've never been able to, we've had incidents recently where things have been unplugged. I can't access any of it. I have to wait for one of our employees to bring it to my attention so I can see it. As a trustee, we are all legally responsible for what happens in these buildings. And without having access to those systems, I can't use any of that.
I can show
If
you how
there's
to
been
do
an
it. It's very
incident.
simple.
Well, Dave wasn't able to set me up because the internet has.
I can show you. You don't even need Dave for that. I can show you how to do it. It's really easy.
I've been asking for a long time, so that's great, but we still need to get that set up per Dave because he said that's how we're able to access that information, and he can't set up any new users until it has been set up. So I have a motion on the floor to.
I have one more concern about that. So just you and Laura are going to set up that. I didn't know anything about a meeting with their security guy. And you guys obviously
You
set
gave
it up.
me the information to
Right,
call
I
us
did,
so
but you
we could
didn't,
get set up.
but you didn't tell me when you were going to do it. You guys both went to it and were going to do it, and I didn't know
You
anything
had all
about
of
it.
this contact information. This is the
Was
first time I've ever
the chief,
contacted
was the
him.
chief invited to that meeting? So
I let Derek
that
Day
he's
know
up
that I
to
would
date?
be there, so he was up to date. The fire department knew we would be there.
I didn't know, that's all right.
Whenever I get videos, it's been from you, so as far as I know, you had access.
Gary's,
What do those cameras cover? What areas do they cover?
They
So the
cover
fire
the-
department buildings?
The fire department.
Inside and out?
I believe so, the town hall, into.
Inside and out?
Inside and out, in our garage, inside and out. Which are all publicly owned, public buildings.
So if you had a party up here and you don't get invited, you could sit at home and watch my party.
If I had nothing better to do.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying you're thinking. Because, okay, what about the fire department that gets up to go to the bathroom when
I
the
mean,
guys
right-
spend the night there?
right now,
And they might be
everybody-
in their briefs. What do you think about that?
I'm sorry?
I said, what about the fire department? What happens when they're spending the night there and they're sleeping and they get up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night?
There's
And they're
no
in the-
cameras in the bathroom or they're sleeping.
They're, from where they're sleeping through there to the bathroom, you can
So
see.
Legally, we have to have cameras at the fire station, that's to watch the drugs in the ambulance, and they're not set up in the bathrooms, and as far as I know, they're not set up where anyone sleeps.
shouldn't be, they better not be.
But I
But
don't know
everything
because I
is
don't have
recorded.
access to that.
Everything is recorded. We're being recorded right now, and you can go access that anytime you want.
I tried to get access from the gentleman who set it up. and
I'll
he
show you how
can't-
to do it if you want. That's what I'm telling you.
Well, that'd be great, but I don't know how you can if he couldn't. But
And I'm
that'd be
smarter
great.
than he is.
Maybe you are. But anyways, he said there has been tampering to both of them and he needs to service them.
Gary, I have a question. When did you get it on your phone? As soon as.
I don't have it on my phone. You can go to the DVR and look at it
But
anytime
how
you
did
want.
you get it on your phone when you showed me the wreck?
That I just recorded off the screen with my phone.
You just took a picture of the,
Video
of
of
the
the
monitor?
screen, yes.
Okay, all right.
Correct. But you can go look at those videos anytime, you know what I'm saying?
I understand that.
Why do you need them? I don't understand why you need them in your homes. I mean, we've never had any problems, have we?
Yes.
Any vandalism or anything?
We've had someone turfing the parking lot. You know, we've had,
We have that on
And,
video.
okay, and what would you have done from home? He was at the garage and caught it.
called the police. So,
Maybe they just pulled in to check something out. I mean, sometimes it might get lost or something.
Right, which wasn't the case in this instance. It was newly paved and someone was doing donuts. So, but any security system that can't be accessed is useless. And right now I have no access, Laura has no access. So
But
I
you don't have access either. Nobody
Are you talking
else. Who actually has
I don't
the
even
app?
have a login. He couldn't even set up a login.
It's-
without-
I can show you how to do it, very simple.
There's a computer in that's videotape where the camera's at. It's in the records room, right?
The one for this building's in the record.
Okay, so he goes into the records room and gets it, and then he sends it to Ed.
And I can show you how to do it, it's very simple. You can access any video from any time you want.
Okay.
You put the time and date in, you go back, you look at that video.
And you can do that right now and it's not hooked up
Correct.
to the internet.
Yeah, we don't have no need for a live hookup, there's no need for that.
Well, what's the fee for him?
It was, I can't remember if he said 125 or 150 per facility to get that up to date, and he felt that it needed to be done. He's been taking care of our security here for many years. He does all the schools, many other government buildings, so he's a very reputable person.
Dave's the one that told me how to get into it and said we really don't need the internet. We can access that
He
anytime.
told me he had it hooked up and it had been disconnected.
Yes, Dan.
Disconnected, or was there a glitch? I'm sorry.
We don't, it was disconnected, we don't know how.
I'm not good with electronics and internet and
I can't
stuff,
say if
but
it was purposely done, but it's become disconnected.
I can tell you that there's more than one time that I have to unplug and replug things at home that I should, in my opinion, never have to do, but I do because something doesn't work. Reset.
So the only,
Hand up in
well,
the back. He's been patiently
Dan?
waiting. Go ahead.
Okay, so app aside, connecting it to the internet would allow you to sit at your desk here at the town hall and access the DVR at the fire station or at the township garage without actually physically going to the location, correct? I mean, that's the other positive to connecting it to the
I
internet.
believe so.
So,
So we would be able
app
to see,
aside,
yeah, so we could be able to see to the other locations as well. Just for basic security.
Dan, let me ask you a question too, since you know computers. How can it be live in one and not for everything? Is there, you know?
it sounds like somebody cut the cord.
I can't say that, I don't know.
Where is it? Building that's not.
I mean, I'm with most of the group, I don't know why the three people up here with everything that they do would want to sit at home on a Saturday night and see what, you know, the fire chief is doing or what the road guys are doing, but I think there's that benefit that Tiffany could come in if she gets, you know, Tiffany or Ed, whoever gets a complaint, instead of making chief come all the way up to the fire station and meet with him and then do all of that on the DVR. You should be able to pull it up on your computer here at your desk and then pull whatever video you need, put it on a disc there.
I mean, theoretically, I can come up here and look at the system and watch what was going on for days on end. I have a life, I don't have time for that. But this is so we can access things if there's been a complaint or question.
Is there any explanation of why in both facilities? I mean, they're not, one
I think we all
does
assume,
both, does it?
I think we all assume that you guys could always watch us, so we just.
Yeah.
I've been,
What I mean, no,
Not
it's
had
not
access
working
for the
here
last
and it's
2
not
years.
working there. Is there, does the one cable Wi-Fi run both places or?
It just sounds like it's not connected to the internet, so.
But it would be both places,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's not, so based on.
he said these were two separate incidents.
So somebody.
It was not one internet connection, it was two that had malfunctioned. And any answer as to why that happened would be speculation until he can look at it. But it requires him to get into the attic and to look into more of the infrastructures than just to look at the box. So that's why it becomes a service call.
So that would be $375
Yeah.
for the garage, 125, 125, or 125?
No, he didn't mention needing to get into the garage, but that's something we didn't discuss. I didn't go over there with him. He didn't look at it there.
But still 250 then?
250. Mm-hmm.
And we have access to anything that's happening right now. I can't second that motion, but.
But I've been denied access to it, and Dave tells me I can't have it until he's able to service that.
That man right there says he can get you in it right now.
The only incident we ever had that I know of is when a disgruntled fireman went up and disconnected some of the cameras. And we have him on video. You've seen the video of
But
him
I've
doing
not
it.
been access to see anything but what's
But
been
I'm telling
shown.
you, I can show you how to do that. I did it. You can have access to that anytime you want.
Okay. I'm making the motion that we have Dave Saltzman do the service call so we can get everything set up the way it should be, so we can properly, make the building safe.
Babysit everybody. Sounds like me. Somebody want to
Gary.
babysit everybody.
If you can show me how to set it up, and I can pull it up on my phone.
You can't do that. You have to go to the DVR itself.
Why do we need to pull them up on
Okay,
the phone?
so I would
don't
have to
get that
come up
part.
here and look.
Correct.
We'd have to, right.
Okay.
I mean, do we have a lot of instances where you guys think you need to do that?
I don't know.
I mean, there's gotta be an end game here. I don't understand what it is you're really after.
There's no end game except we don't have access to the security system, and I'm a trustee, and legally it is my responsibility to.
So she could sit at home and not have to come out.
I'll show you how to do it, Laura.
Okay.
Well, it's been for years, nobody's been able to access the cameras and stuff, so why all of a sudden now?
Because I just got the information of who is in charge of our system so I could contact them.
But again, it's been years that cameras have been installed and nobody's had access. Why worry about it now?
Because I just got the information. I've been asking
Waste of
for
money.
years.
Yeah.
Waste of the township's money.
Total waste of
Okay,
money.
if you can show me how to access it.
I'd be happy
here, okay? I just want to be able to look too. And I'm not gonna sit home and stare, because I got bigger, better things to do at home, so.
Babysit.
But if I can do that, if I can come up and you can show me, then I'm good with
Yep,
that.
absolutely.
Well, then I'll retract my motion saying that you will do the same for me as well, so I can see and have access. And then I'll talk to Dave Saltzman and get an update from him about his further recommendations. And I think we kind of cut into your fire department report here, so my apologies.
No, that's fine. The last thing I have is, 2 meetings ago, we gave you the life force contract review. Has there been anything reviewed on that, or they just sent me an email asking where we stand on that?
I haven't heard anything back from the prosecutor's office on that, but I'll push for that and see if he has any recommendations or changes for that. I did.
That's the last thing I have.
Upcoming EMR class, do you have any updates on that or information?
We have been in contact with Mahoney County Chiefs Association. That's who's putting it on through Mahoney County MCTC. And it's going to be in February coming up. We're just waiting on the exact days of the week and times.
Okay.
Do you have a lot of interest in that? Are people contacting the fire department to take that class?
We have about 5 of our own right now that's looking at joining. And like I said, you guys are more than welcome if you'd like to take it just to learn.
Okay.
You're more than welcome to take it.
And can you explain what EMR certification allows you to do? So like if you have a firefighter that takes EMR and he goes on a call, what can he provide to our residents?
EMR is the basic first aid.
Is that what they used to call first responders?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it used to be called first responders, now they're called EMRs. What they can do is they can legally go on a call with an EMR and an EMT, or an EMR and a paramedic. They can actually be a full crew.
They can drive the ambulance?
They can drive the ambulance, they can go, they can take patient care.
And what can they administer themselves?
Oxygen and first aid,
Okay.
as of this point right now.
And the way I understand it, you know, one of the things that came up in one of our recent meetings about some of the fire department not being able to drive the ambulance, if some of our people who were just fire department trained and not EMR trained would take this class, that would enable them to be able to help more with driving the ambulance. Is that accurate?
That is correct. That'll put them so they can be a part of making it a full crew to transport.
Which that seems like a big contributing assistance to the department if we can get some of those members trained.
And we're opening up to the other departments around us so they can help with their staffing too. It's not going to just benefit us, it's going to benefit everybody.
Your surrounding departments.
We initially check with UH to teach the class first, and they would come to our station to do it. So the MCCTC, Monica Career Center will come to our station.
Does Altman provide any training?
They won't come to our station.
You have to go there.
Who is that accredited through?
They're their own accreditation. MCCTC.
Mahoning County Career and Technical
Yes.
Center.
The only other thing I had on the fire department was that there were some concerns about MABAS and some of the departments we were utilizing. And I'm wondering if we shouldn't maybe have a work meeting about that, just so we can all kind of have a better understanding of why we're doing things the way we're doing.
I'd like to tell you exactly why we as officers all sat down together and came up with this. But we'll be glad to sit down and tell you why we're doing what we're doing and our reasoning behind it.
Maybe at our next meeting, we could have a short work session on that, if that would be agreeable to you.
Agreeable to me?
Anything else from the fire department?
That's all the fire department has.
Road department?
Pretty much other than the snowstorm last week, everything is just routine stuff. Snow kept coming hard and heavy. Roger had to leave for a few hours. Thankfully, Ed was able to come in and run one of the plow trucks and help salt, and we still ended up plowing until about 9:30 the other night. We had about 16 hours of snow plowing, so thanks for helping out.
You're welcome. I do have one question though. In the big truck that I was driving, in order to get salt go, you have to physically push the dump bed handle forward a lot of times to get that auger to go.
Correct.
Is that something we need to take somewhere and get corrected? That can't be right.
I would love to, yeah. It isn't right. It's
I guess
been like
I've
that
told
since
about
the
that
truck
before,
was
never
built.
realized what an inconvenience trying to drive down the road, watch where your blade's at, watch where you're steering so you're not running off the road, and have to lean forward and push a lever forward to make the auger bring the salt to the spinner.
Correct.
So any ideas of where we can take that? I'll make a motion we get that fixed as soon as we can, but I don't have any idea where to take something like that.
What about Myers?
They're the ones that did the initial hydraulic
Didn't you say
system.
there was an issue with that from the get-go? A hydraulic issue?
Well, when they put it in there, we didn't have the insert in there. We had the dump bed that dumped and put it into the spinner. Right. So we didn't have that.
Salt box.
Yeah, we didn't have the V-box in there, which created another hydraulic use. So that probably...
Make some phone calls.
Yeah, let's make some phone calls, but I will make a motion that whenever weather permits, we get that fixed. That is kind of an unsafe situation.
Well, as you know, a lot of the issue too is the salt we have. It's 3, 4, 5 years old, some of the stuff in the back of the
I'll
building.
be glad when we're done with that free salt.
Yeah, free salt is expensive.
So I've got a motion to get that truck fixed whenever weather permits so we can get it into a shop. I don't know the price yet, but it needs fixed.
I'll second that.
Yes.
Roll call vote, Laura,
Yes.
Ed,
Yes.
and Tiffany.
Yes.
We gonna have to order salt, or you think we got enough, Gary?
I'm sorry?
Think we're gonna have to order salt? We don't get a lot more snow well enough to get through, won't we?
Well, we've got enough to get us through the winter. I mean, as you know, it's hard to work with, but where do we get rid of old salt?
Yeah, that's a problem, so hopefully we get to use it, and then we'll start out fresh.
Yeah, because we don't want to mix new with that stuff.
No. While we're in the road department, the adjuster from the insurance companies came up We got a price from Miller Builders, who was the original ones that put the top and frame on our salt shed. That was ripped. Our insurance company will cover the total repair to costs, $33,000 and some dollars. Insurance company will cover that cost for us. So I think we need to move forward with Miller Builders to do that project. Our insurance adjuster has already accepted their bid. That's good to do. So if we're good with it, the insurance company will have them start moving forward to get the new tarp and framework for our salt shed.
Do you have anything printed out on that?
Did Tyler send us anything yet? Yeah, actually he sent me something on my phone, but I didn't print it out.
Can you bring that to the next meeting?
Yeah. But it's no cost to the township. It's strictly insurance money. So can we start moving forward in a 2 or 3 month order to get that, or do we want to wait?
I would like to see it.
Okay. That's fine. The other estimate we got was $60,000, $59,000 and some dollars for the same job.
Yep,
So
55,000 and then 5,000 to tear it down.
To tear it down. We do know that. We do have the documentation for that down in the garage. That's down on the table down there. We called the adjuster, and we didn't even have enough insurance to do that. So we got another quote in, and $20-some thousand cheaper for the same job. Our insurance company's happy with it. So, but if you want to see it, we can
I have
get
no
it.
problem with that, I'd just like to see it.
Okay, no problem.
You have it on, can you just pull it up on your phone?
Yeah, I don't have it on my phone. That was sent to maybe the township, I don't know, but
So are we gonna wait and start it then, or?
nobody seconded it, so I guess we'll have to.
Is this is the building that we had the tarp repair on it?
Yes.
With the salt, covering the
Okay.
salt.
All right. Do you need salt? Are you out?
No, we have salt.
Okay. So you want to get started on the building?
We need to order this because it's
Yeah.
2 to 3 months to even get it in, once it's ordered. Possibly to order the material to do it.
And the insurance is covered.
The insurance 100% covered.
I'll make a motion that we order it.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Yes. And then you'll bring those into the next
Yes.
meeting.
Yep.
She made the motion.
Thank you.
I made the motion.
Yeah, Laura did.
Did you second it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Roll call vote. Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
This vote will continue.
And Tiffany?
Yes.
What we're gonna do? I'm gonna pick me up.
Anything else from the road department?
Anything else we need to purchase for trucks or anything? We haven't run into any big repairs, some lights here and a couple switches here.
No, nothing big. No.
Nothing big, so.
Up to the spring.
Yeah.
Or did you get keys?
No, but I'm getting them. They're en route or in the process.
I have a key for you for the chapels.
Yes.
He's got our key for the chapels.
Yeah, and the rest
The
of
garage is on the code to get into. You punch in, the fire department's on the code. So the only thing Laura needs keys for is here, which I've made an appointment to get them made for, since Mark can't find his, so.
If you stop at the garage, I'll give you the key.
Okay.
The keys aren't something you can go to a hardware and get made. They're patented keys. You have to go to a certain locksmith to get them made because it's a public building. That's why I can't just go to Edinburgh and get her every key she needs made.
Can't go to Lowe's.
Right, can't go to Lowe's, can't go to Pettigrew's, can't go anywhere.
But you did go get them and they didn't have their truck.
Right. I did go to get them. The truck was involved in an accident. I was in the garage. They called me to just back now so I can get it made for you.
And then, Roger, I had briefly talked to you about this. We got propane tanks over at the old town hall that had previously been stolen. So we wanted to get those secured somehow. Is that something we can make happen?
Yeah, that's what I heard you say something about. You didn't say something to me about the tanks?
No, I asked you if it would be possible if we
You asked me
got
about
that. You were both at the garage.
Did you?
I don't remember you saying nothing.
Didn't tell you to secure them, just asked you if we would be able to when we
Yeah, I'm
got
sure
them
we
because
do
the last
something.
one were stolen.
I'm sure we can do something with them. Probably fence them in, that'd probably be the best thing.
Maybe
We
put
gate
like a
around.
combination lock on it or something so we can give that to the company so they can access that.
Yeah.
Something along those
Yeah,
lines.
something like that.
Thank you. Anything else from the road department?
No.
Buildings and grounds?
We want to give an update on Tyler helping us out on the circle.
Yeah, buildings and grounds, the lady indicated in there about the circle being in bad shape. It is. The same adjuster that approved our salt shed getting repaired, the dollar amount and the people we had to use it. When our fence got through the Civil War monument, I've got a price to repair, to redo the concrete. I've got a price to repair the fence, to replace the fence actually. I'm waiting on a price from the monument company in Kent, what that damage on the sign, or on the monument itself is worth, which it's not a big damage, but it's worth something to us because it did get hit and chipped off. So the same adjuster that worked in that salt shed was out last week, early this week, last week. Took pictures of it, measured and everything. I forwarded the quotes to him, the concrete, Chris's Custom Concrete, local guy. Adam Beal Fencing is the guy that, for the fence repair. Again, the adjuster agreed to both of those right there. We have to come up with a price for the cleanup we did, man hours that our own employees did cleaning up the parts and pieces over there, and replacing extension cords that got ran over that we had to replace, and we have to get a price on electrical yet. And then we can move forward with that project. They will cut us a check. As soon as they get that, they will cut us a check immediately for that, minus our $500 deductible. So we just have a few more things to do, but two major things to concrete repair. There's a local guy, Chris Sutcliffe, he's done all our concrete work around here. Adam Beal Fencing, who is also a local guy. Both bonded and insured. Adjuster's happy with the prices that they gave and just waiting on us now to get the rest of the stuff gathered up and forward to him, and he'll approve that, and we can get started as soon as the weather permits.
Will it be the wrought iron
It'll be
fence like
It'll be
it was
very,
there?
very close to what it is. It will not be very, the difference is those tips can be replaced. I gotta talk to Adam to make sure the ones he's getting cannot be replaced. They're formed on it where those are going to be able to put on, but he says he can't find those anymore. They're available, but not for a whole fence, he said. So that's why he recommended using ones that are forged right on it when they make it. It'll be dark brown or black, just like that is to match. We got one price from a fence company that was $4,000 or $5,000 higher.
Yeah.
Chris is $5,200, $5,400. I've got it somewhere. Fence company's $42,000, $43,000. The other fence company, also a local guy, was about $5,000 more for the same job. So we gave all that. I gave all that to the insurance adjuster. So.
And then the gazebo.
Yeah, if we don't get moving on that gazebo, he took pictures and measurements of the gazebo while he was here. He's going to ask our insurance carrier to let him move forward with that if we do not get that started in the very near future. He's going to ask that he can come in and be the adjuster for that also, so he can help us get that done to where it needs done.
And I've got some quotes on that gazebo too.
Yeah.
Because we've been waiting on a structural engineer on the gazebo for what, 3 months?
Yeah.
And we're just not getting.
We're not going to get it from him. He's busy with a big project, so we're not going to get it.
So this Tyler, he's going to help us out and expedite that too. He's a go-getter.
But again, it's pretty complicated because you can't go to the town or building department and get a permit to build the gazebo or to fix the gazebo. You have to have the engineering drawings, or the gazebo has to come down to nothing and start all over from scratch with blueprints, engineering prints, and all that stuff. According to the building department, it does not meet today's building standards.
Of course not.
So therefore, in order for him to agree to just fix what's broken and bring it up to code, we have to have detailed engineering prints.
Everything has to be different.
Everything is different because it's commercial and public. That's what he said.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, the way it was made would never fly today.
That's what he said. He said,
Just
when
the way
we
it's
built it was
built.
okay, but today he said, I can't let you just say, go ahead and repair that. I gotta have engineering prints,
Well,
he
he'd
said.
really be impressed if he'd have seen the original one.
Yep. So that's where we're at in that. I would like to get the rest of that stuff to the insurance adjuster for the other monument, and I would like to be able to tell them to move forward with that very quickly if we get the rest of that stuff. Are you guys amenable to that, or do you want to wait till I bring it all into a meeting? And again, it's our insurance adjuster dealing with it. No, it's not going to cost us anything but $500, and they're going to go after. They're going to go after the person that hit it to get their money back. Is how this is working.
Okay. Now, we have two insurance companies involved because we have one on the gazebo and a different one on the fence.
No, both of them are Torma. It's
Okay.
adjusters that are different.
Okay.
That's where we're at. We do have two personal insurances involved, with general insurance that hit the monument and progressive that hit the gazebo. The lady that hit that, just 2 weeks ago, she was in court and pled guilty to that, so now we do have access to all of her insurance information and contact information on that. I've contacted her insurance a couple times. Someone called right back. I said, oh yeah, we'll get right on that. Answered a bunch of questions. They said, well, that's commercial. We got to have somebody else call you. I've yet to receive someone else call me. I called back again. They told me the same thing. So again, we're going to have to go to our insurance company, which is Otarma, ask them to litigate this for us so that we can get moving forward and get this fixed.
Because they're stalling.
Right.
What about the general ones? Is them at all?
They're an online company.
Yeah, I know.
No.
I know.
No, nothing. That's why our insurance said, we'll handle it, we'll pay for it, we'll get you back to where you need to be, and then we'll deal with them, is what they said. That's what our retirement insurance is for. So.
Well, I'd like to see that get fixed.
That's bad. All right, the Old Town Hall. I have some documents to go into record. I've got copies for everyone. If you can pass that down, please. One for you, one for Laura. The Old Town Hall construction has been lots of talk. We had a materials change, which was the subject of a lot of uproar. The total cost for that was $11,080 with all of the breakdown. I did have two other quotes for that project. One was from Northeast Home Builders. They are an Amish-based company. Their quote was much higher. That was at $15,500 without any of the lighting or construction. And I also had a quote from Blair's Construction, which the total cost of the project was $18,000. Drywall is less expensive, but much more labor intensive. And so I wanted to give those to you all so you can have a look and let me know if you have any questions.
I have a question. So it wasn't 11,800, it was 1180.
1180 was the final.
That was the final?
The final invoice.
Okay. Because I thought it was 1180.
That's what I thought too. So.
Okay, so that's.
We had two papers. One said 11,080, and the other one said 11,800.
But this was the final.
This was the final.
Okay.
The final invoice. Correct.
1180. Okay. And then Blair's is 18,000.
And I believe Tyler Blair is here too. If anyone has any questions for him on that quote.
I also have a document from the same guy you're talking about, which before we move forward with this, he turned in for what he was going to do. Inside ceiling and light fixtures, secure ceiling, and add tongue and groove ceiling, $7,280. Install high efficiency lights ×6 and fans ×2 for $3,800, which come out to $11,800.
Oh.
Which is what you made your motion on, and I agreed to. And right there is the document that was turned into Kristy.
And that's I can explain that for you. I can give you some clarification. It's $7,280 for the ceiling and the $3,800 divided for the lights and fans. That was the breakdown of that number.
Okay, I get the breakdown, but again, the motion was for tongue and groove, so all this other stuff is actually immaterial. But anyway, you gave us a sheet the last time that he provided you, I'm assuming.
And it's here as well.
He's got 6 lights at $149 each at $1,200. That only comes out to $894. It doesn't come out to $1,200.
Because he's got the assembly as well, the install and assembly.
That was another $945.
So $3,640 plus his time, which came out to be $3,800.
But again, he's got $1,200 for lights, and they only cost $894
His price
by his
was
numbers.
thousands of dollars less than the other quotes that we've received.
The same thing on here, he says he used 26 sheets of 3/4, 4x10 drywall. He did not use 3/4 inch drywall. We went up there and pulled registers off and measured, it's 5/8 drywall. He did not use 3/4 inch drywall, it's 5/8. He charged $1,040 for 26 sheets of drywall. You divide that, that's $40 a sheet. Anywhere, any Lowe's, any Home Depot, any building supply, it's about $18 a sheet. He has on here scaffold rental, $350. Okay, that's fine, he rented the scaffolding. But then he has on here new wheels, not to scratch, $220. So he rented the scaffold and bought wheels to put on a scaffold he doesn't own.
He was protecting the.
Yeah, but this is all stuff that was included in this original quote, that's all I'm saying. All this other stuff is immaterial. He did not do the job we agreed to do. No one okayed that change in that job.
Are we ever getting a tongue and groove then, or are we stuck with the driveway?
We changed the material to stay in budget.
Who did?
We made a materials change.
Who's we? I didn't. I did not make that change. Mark didn't make that change. Who did? Did the builder do that, or did you and the builder do it? I'm just asking.
To me, it was a reasonable change to stay in budget with no PEC money that we were using on a deadline.
Again, how could we not stay in budget, though, when he gave us a quote to do a job? How can we not stay in budget? How is that?
Because the quote was done far in advance, and those materials at that price were no longer valid. A quote only lasts for so long. Prices change, material prices increase, they fluctuate.
But not that much.
Can you give us a new quote for the new price for the material?
I'm going to maintain they should have came back before the board and said, hey, it's been a couple months, the price went up $200 or $300. I can't do it unless you guys approve that.
He did a beautiful job. He did it at a great price. He donated his time to paint, which I know is irrelevant, but it should be noteworthy. He did something nice.
But
I think
it's
his
not
price
what
was,
we agreed on. It's not what we agreed on in the public meeting. And a second motion,
that ceiling
a
was
second motion.
leaking and falling apart. It needed replaced for years. That building has been neglected for years. It was now taken care of, fixed. It is beautiful. And the prices were all reasonably priced. And I have quotes to support that.
A new motion and a second to a motion after a job is done does not make an unethical situation ethical, nor does it make an unlawful situation lawful. I'm sticking to the fact that I want my tongue and groove. I'm one of the ones that agreed on it. I didn't change from that. That's my opinion. I want my tongue and groove for this money.
It's no different than me building my house and asking my contractor to put it in granite countertops, and he just decides to go ahead and put in Corian or vinyl or something else.
But they're both pretty.
It's unfortunate it's coming up at this time. We do have a new trustee on board, which puts her in a hard situation. I understand that. But however, I'm sticking with my guns, and I want my tongue and groove ceiling. You motioned and I second at a public meeting. Looks good. It won't crack. If we can't agree to do that, then my suggestion is this man takes the township to court, and we'll let a Portage County judge decide who's right and who's wrong in the situation.
Well, I'm walking into this, and I wasn't here when this was done. Okay, I'm just going to give you my point of view of the entire situation. I did speak to the prosecutor about this to obtain advice from him. Number one, we had a contractor who came and did a job. Number two, he's going to have to be paid. And that's coming straight from the contractor. You know, my concern was there were accusations that this man gouged us and he overcharged, and it was ridiculous, the price. You know, I'm looking at comparison prices. He's well within reasonable and customary, and he's far below. I've been in that building for a number of years now. Ceiling was falling in, looked like a disaster. They had buckets and pails on the floor and bowls to catch the debris. I realize that this may not be what you wanted for the ceiling, but the ceiling, the work is done, and the guy's gonna have to be paid. The guy's gonna have to be
But at
paid.
what price?
Well,
And then didn't do what we,
okay.
didn't do what we asked.
Okay, so we've got estimates here. We weren't gouged. We weren't gouged. I mean, I don't know you. Are you Tyler?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know you, Tyler. You've never done any work for me. You and I are buddies, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I had a roof put on this year, and I use a different company. So we have no allegiances. What can you tell me about the guy's, about his quote?
Mine is cheap. I mean, 3 guys, $35 an hour. That's unheard of. Sure.
Okay, would you...
I'm $45 an hour. And the other contractors are at 65 to 80.
Would you consider that, would you say we were gouged?
I would say you're gouged. There's a couple things in there. So materials probably a little bit higher. But depending on where you bought them, what his prices were, just don't see if she's showed that. I would say he's fair. I would have touched it for that.
Okay.
We had to
So,
drive all across for $6 grand though.
You got 3 guys out there, labor thing. He spent almost a week and a half there off and on, heating the building, and he leaves like $1,200 after he the guys.
But he knew
That's
there
not
wasn't no heat in the
much
building. He knew there wasn't no heat in the building. He should have did that when he did the job,
When he quoted.
when he quoted it.
When he quoted the job, it wasn't cold outside of the store.
Oh, you
But
gotta-
again-
I mean, the weather's the weather. You can't stop that.
Did you see that, Tyler? He said 3/4 inch 4x10 drywall. We went up and took registers out of ceiling and measured, and I have pictures. It's not 3/4 inch drywall. So how, when that's obviously wrong, $149 each for lights, he's got $1,200, and it's $894 to buy them. How do we know any of these other numbers are right? That's all I'm saying. Anything other than what we agreed on is not right. It's an illegal situation, as far as I'm concerned. It was changed without a public meeting, without anyone knowing about it, and I'm gonna stick to my guns. I'm saying no. I want my tongue in groove.
We only seen 2 guys working up there, 2 guys.
Well, he was
supposed to be here today.
Laura asked last time
He
if
was
he...
invited to come, and he came after a meeting before last and felt insulted and attacked and didn't want to come back and be insulted and attacked for his words.
He can just meet with you 3.
Well, we can't have.
Can't do that.
Can't do that.
It's an illegal meeting.
We only seen 2 guys up there every time doing the job to begin with. I don't know why he charged 3.
I saw 3.
He dropped the 2 off and the other dude left. He was never there the
I
whole
was only
time.
up there one time, and there was 3.
Yeah, I've been by there numerous times during the day.
That we stopped and talked to him a few
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
There's only ever 2 guys.
Still
But
2 guys in there.
And I'm still back to the fact.
Again, that's all immaterial. I'm just going by what the motion was and what I agreed to, that's all. I didn't agree to a change in any way, shape, or form. It should have been brought back before the board for a major change like this. That's where I'm at.
And major is subjective.
What's that?
That's subjective.
Well, that's my opinion, because it's a major change too.
Okay.
Do you still have Jack's quote? Originally, the guy was gonna do it?
Yeah, on a $5,800 or something.
$5,800.
I've never seen this quote. We never voted on that quote. We never discussed that.
That was before you were here.
And here's another thing that I want to...
Which would have been years ago.
No, it wasn't. You were here then. but-
That
she was here.
I mean, I was never,
She was
I
here.
never got to see those quotes. I never got to speak with him. Those are really immaterial because I've never seen it in writing.
And because I'm getting, you know, shoved into this, and I wasn't a part of this, but I'm gonna bring up this. This was NOPEC money that had to be a certain amount, I think it was like 4,000 to 5,000 of it, had to be utilized build, work done prior to November 30th, okay? Otherwise, you can light a match to the money. It's gone, okay? Use it by November 30th. We're not saying, oh, we made a plan by November 30th. Work done by November 30th, or it's gone. So there's like, it's like, here, let me take $5,000 and burn it. It's gone. And
just like we're saying, the insurance adjusters.
Well, we could have put all new lights in the
free.
fire station for that $5,000 as well, though.
it would have all had to been done prior.
And that's subjective too, because I talked to Jessica at NOPEC and she had a lot of leeway in that. As long as we had a contractor, she would have honored the money. I talked to her personally then and very recently. I called her, brought her up to date of what actually happened or what they paid for. I brought her up to date so that they're not thinking we're trying to rip them off. I don't want to lose NOPEC funding. So I explained the situation to her.
Well, and it was
And asked if they wanted a
specific.
refund if we did something different, if they wanted a refund. So
It was earmarked specifically in a public meeting to be used in the Old Town Hall.
Tiffany?
Hi, yes, Bob?
So basically, you're trying to save NOPEC money. I mean, you're not really trying to save the township money. It's all NOPEC money.
Well, that, it was NOPEC money, did not come out of
But
the
if
township
you
taxes.
misuse
I'm sorry, let
NOPEC,
me finish.
they won't give us any money anymore.
If you don't pay it,
We need to be good stewards of that money as well, because that is money that's given to us to use.
Right.
But correct, that was not taxpayer money, that was NOPEC money, correct.
Well,
NOPEC screwed a lot of us.
it is still taxpayer money.
That's a whole nother meeting.
Exactly.
So,
It is, but this was money that had to be utilized by a certain time or we would have lost it.
and that was earmarked for the Old Town Hall, because that is our building to preserve, right?
But that's what you guys agreed on. You agreed on the tongue and groove.
At
You
what
took it upon
point,
yourself
after
to
he
do it.
did the quote, did he realize that that lumber was no longer available at that price?
I don't know.
I don't have that date right in front of me.
Okay. My point is, could there not have been a special meeting to discuss this? I mean, I know there are special meetings held. Is that not a reason to do something like that, maybe? I'm just looking for.
Could have and should have. I agree, the man needs paid, he did a job. But
Yeah, he
did
does
not
need
do the
paid,
job
but he didn't
But he
do
did
the
not do
job
the job he
that-
was hired for.
We all thought he was going to.
To me, it's kind of simple, come in, put tongue and groove up there, we'll sign the check, and the guy's happy. I'm happy. You guys are happy. It's done. You can't hire a contractor and let him come in and totally change something without letting everybody know and then expect to be paid the same. No matter how much papers you put out, he had over a month to come up with all these numbers and stuff. And again, that's all immaterial.
Didn't he at some point say if he would have actually done what he was supposed to do, he would have had another $9,000 in material?
Yeah, when we were signing
For
the check.
current Carter lumber prices.
You could get that with
So-
anywhere.
So if we take 9,000 off the 11, we get a bargain, huh?
So based on that, there's $9,000, and he said he would have spent it, he didn't, but yet we're gonna pay him the same money.
Yeah, it's
He
just-
told us that himself that night when we were signing the checks. He told me I didn't know what I was talking about. I said, you have about 4,000. Nope, you know what you're talking about, I have 9,000. Fair enough, take 9,000 off because you didn't buy $9,000 worth of tongue and groove. No matter how much you justify, it's not justified, it's not the job he was hired to do.
I don't think anybody's arguing the fact that the ceiling needed done and now it's done.
Yep.
It's the fact that it didn't happen the way that it was supposed to happen.
Ed, didn't I hear that that's supposed to be have new walls and that put underneath of it and?
I know everybody would like to see it jacked up and foundation put under the stuff. And
Okay, you know what's gonna happen with that drywall once they start moving that building?
yeah, it's gonna be junk, it's gonna have to be redone again.
It's
That's
going
exactly
to,
right.
it has allowances for that. If we would have put tongue and groove up, that would have needed to be adjusted. We would have lost pieces of that too. I would have liked to have done the foundation first. That's not in the funding, and NOPEC wasn't giving us money for that.
Tyler, you're a contractor. Tell me about tongue and groove. Would you have the same problem if it was a tongue and groove ceiling?
More likely. Anything's gonna pop, depending on how much you jack the building up.
Here, yeah, I can
backwards, you're always gonna do it backwards, so.
Go ahead. That's not true.
Unfortunately.
So,
I think the other issue that we're not talking about is the Open Meetings Act. You have to have business done in public, right? I used to be the vice chair of the Republican Party here in the county, and we got sued by a member of our party. The chairman went on his own and hired an attorney. The party did not approve hiring an attorney. The attorney did a lot of work, and we kicked the chairman out and elected a new chairman. At that time, in the interim, I became chairman, the acting chairman, because I was the vice chairman. And I fired that attorney. I basically just told her, you don't really work for us, we never hired you. And she said, I have a bill. I said, I don't care about your bill, take it up with the person who hired you. Because we had not voted on it as a group. It was not discussed in an open meeting, it wasn't approved in an open meeting, and we didn't approve it, and we didn't fund it. So she had to take her bill to the previous chairman to get paid. I don't know whatever happened with that because she wasn't our attorney. Then when we elected a new chairman, we met together as a group and we said, we need to have an attorney now because we have to finish this, we have to resolve this lawsuit. At that point, we hired a different attorney out of Summit County, but we had all talked about it, we all voted on it, it was a public meeting. Ohio Revised Code has public meetings. Any changes have to be done in a public meeting, and I think that's what Ed is trying to say, and we get wrapped up in all the minutia of it. The prosecutor's right, the guy gets paid, he did the job, but who's paying? Is the county, or is the township paying, or is the person who made the change order outside of a public meeting the one that's responsible? I think that's the issue.
So the job was voted on. It was voted on at a dollar amount, which we stayed under. There was a materials change. Just like, we hired an electrician to put up the lighting at the garage that I've never met, never seen a quote on. So, sometimes there are definitely questions.
And he put up every light in that building and this building that he quoted. We wrote him a check for the exact amount he quoted for every individual light that he quoted. We have that paperwork.
yeah, was that not voted on after?
We voted on spending $7,500 to install lighting at the garage in the town hall. Yes, it was approved prior to.
But the hiring of the contractor was.
Correct, the hiring of the contractor.
But the other trustees went ahead and okayed it.
It was $7,500 bond, that's what we approved, that's
I'm
what
sorry,
we paid.
Yvonne, I can't
What was
hear
that
you.
on?
I said, so the other trustees went ahead and voted to go ahead and pay that, so that that other trustee that made the changes didn't have to, right?
I did do that, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was approved,
It wasn't a
it was
personal
approved
thing.
at a prior meeting, $7,500. We have the minutes were approved to replace lights. Where are you saying that the other trustees did? It was approved at a meeting to replace lights.
To hire a contractor to replace lights.
The lights that he quoted were replaced for the dollar amount that we agreed on. The job was done exactly like it was quoted to do. Exactly.
We hired someone and I have no idea who it was. I never saw any information on it.
Well, I would really like to move past from this because I feel that we have more important things to worry about in this township right now.
Are you saying we legally should not pay this anyway?
I do.
Oh, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer, I know what we did.
Well, I know what the
We
prosecutor
didn't
told
pay
me.
the attorney dealt with it with him, who hired him personally.
The body was not liable.
Yeah, we were not liable for the attorney.
The prosecuting attorney said this gentleman needs to be paid.
And I don't argue the point. But he needs paid for the job he was hired to do is my point.
I don't feel that he charged us out of line at all. Not looking at these quotes, I don't feel that we were gouged. We just had all those roofs put on, and I know what work costs. And it's a small fortune.
Well,
I
the
mean,
reason
is
you
it-
go with the lowest bid is because of the lowest bid, and if he bid in low and then had to go high later, it still should have been an adjustment.
I mean, we don't need a reputation. I don't like to see any contractor not get paid.
No, I don't either, but I
Okay.
also.
But don't you think it's unfair that he did one job and he did another? Would you accept that in your house? Would you pay for hardwood floors and then have vinyl put in and say, well, that's okay, they both look nice? See what I'm saying?
Well, I understand that, Gary.
For the same price.
I understand that, but we can't let this go and not pay him.
Is he willing to come back and put the tongue and groove up?
It's available.
And want to
everywhere.
come back? No.
That's all I'm asking. Come out and put the tongue and groove in, that's the job I
I mean,
agreed
that's
to.
what he
We'll pay
did.
you. I'm not saying not pay the man, I'm saying pay the man for the job he was supposed to do when he finishes the job.
The money quoted.
It's not right.
No.
Are you gonna pay for the inflation of materials if he does that?
It's the same price now as it was, we looked up several times.
Actually cheaper here than it was where he's getting it at.
They just had a sale on it over at Campfield last weekend.
Yeah.
Bernard
Yeah,
Daniels.
Bernard Daniels had it on sale. It seems right in the past.
So money would have been, 5,000 would have been gone that didn't get utilized, and I didn't know that you had unlimited time past the deadline, that it would all still be okay.
We didn't have unlimited time.
That is gotcha.
As long as it was contracted, she said she had the ability and the authority to work with us on that. They have to put it out there that yes, these jobs have to be done by this time, otherwise it's gonna be a year from now and the money's still gonna be there. She would have worked with us, what she told me when I called her.
Did the township already receive the grant money?
What's that?
Did the township already receive the grant money?
Far as I know, yes, we did.
So you've got the money in the bank, you just don't want to spend it.
What's that?
You got the money in the bank, you just don't want to spend it on principal.
No, on legal rights is what I don't want to spend it on. That's where I'm at. You guys make your decision, but you know mine, I will not vote for anything other than tongue and groove sealing. It wasn't done at a public meeting, therefore it is an illegal, unauthorized work change. Not $100, not $200, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 possibly. We have no way of knowing that.
I have it right here.
Everything else is after the fact.
Nancy, you had communication today that you read that some of the people here couldn't. Did you hear the letter, Kay and Mark? Could you hear anything in the back?
I just hear off and in.
Do you want the letter, Laura? Well, I'd like to see it. I know you read it, but. Okay, this resident says, and you guys couldn't hear it, but I'm just gonna read it, just the last part. She said, secondly, the circle, which is what Deerfield is known for, looks like a crime scene. My husband and I drive around it several times a day. It has been a state of disrepair for months on end. The circle is a source of pride for this town. When can we expect repairs to begin? Lastly, I watch these trustee meetings on YouTube due to my work schedule. I saw a fuss over the Old Town Hall ceiling. I have been in that town hall many times over the years and the ceiling was falling down. They had bowls and buckets to catch the debris falling from it. That ceiling needed repaired long ago, and I am so glad they finally fixed it. I have not been in the town hall since the ceiling was repaired, but I saw the picture on Facebook. My husband saw it too. We think it looks very nice, and I am very happy it has finally been fixed. The fuss should be over getting the circle repairs made. The other fuss should be getting our fire department back to the quality our residents are accustomed to. Okay, I have not had, other than Denise and you guys, I've not had one resident come up and say, oh my God, the ceiling in the town hall is horrible. I'm so upset over it. I'm so worried about it. But I have had many people come up and ask me about the circle. Why is the circle, what are we gonna do? When's it gonna get fixed? Because that's what this is what people are concerned with. They're concerned about the circle, and they're concerned about their fire department and the care they're gonna get from their fire and EMS. Those are two things that constituents that come up to me voice their concerns about, and those are two very important things. And I think that we are exhausting an unlimited amount of turmoil over a ceiling in an old town hall, that the ceiling was dilapidated and torn down and literally falling in. And as far as someone made a comment, well, you know, it needed to be tongue and groove. Okay, that's fine. You guys wanted tongue and groove. I would have not cared what was in the ceiling. It was not historical, and I'd be highly doubtful that the ceiling in the old town hall was originally tongue and groove. It was probably some type of a wood ceiling because it was built so old. So we're not like, there was no chance we're gonna restore it back to its original type. I've been in it, I've looked at it, it looks nice. I don't feel that we were gouged. I mean, we've got a quote here for $18,000. We've got a quote here for $15,500. This guy's at $11,080. I thought it was $11,800. I thought it was closer to that. So it was $11,800. I think that, like, we're beating a dead horse. And if we don't pay our contractor, we're gonna get sued. Because he deserves to be paid.
Is those quotes for
Let him
drywall
see,
or
he
tongue
didn't
and
do the
groove?
job he was supposed to do. And I'm sure that's in the minutes. Let him sue you all he wants, tell him to get his lawyer.
That's not what he said.
And I'm sorry, this person that wrote this letter is probably never at any of these meetings, doesn't understand the paperwork and the litigation and
I think they had some help
the
with the letter, too.
procedures that go on behind the scenes, why the gazebo's not done yet.
We get
I
a
mean-
lot of views of our meetings from Dan's recordings,
Correct.
which help people stay in touch with what's going
But
on.
do they understand the behind-the-scenes workings of that? Do they understand that you're dealing with insurance companies
They
and
see all the things that
contractors?
everyone else sees here at the
They see the
meetings.
same
Well,
thing.
I'm sorry
as
that they feel that way, but I still stand by the fact that if I hired a contractor to do something in my house and they gave me an alternative material, I would not be happy, and I would not be paying that bill as quoted, because it was quoted as such.
The intention was to fix the Old Town Hall ceiling within the budget that we had for NOPEC. That was the intention, and that is what happened.
And that's fine,
It
except
must
that
have
it wasn't
been like
agreed
it
on.
was okayed by the three.
I guess I have to ask, did this guy ever plan on putting tongue and groove or not?
That's right.
It left right away, that it was not happening. So we do have to move forward, but you guys
I'm not
have my,
saying that
you guys
doesn't
have my
look nice.
position on it.
I'm saying it
Man
wasn't
needs
done
paid,
as
but
expected.
we did not agree to do this, and the public said, and therefore, it is an illegal payment.
Them quotes you have, are they drywall or are they tongue and groove?
No, this quote, you mean from the
Do
guy
the
who did
ceiling,
it?
the other guys. No, the other
They're
guy.
all of the above.
They're all the above. They're quoting on the work, like if they were doing the same job, what they would charge. Like what was done on him, they're quoting against his quote.
For the drywall is what he said.
Yes, quoting against what was in the ceiling.
Those quotes are for drywall.
After the
Yes.
fact, they know they're not gonna get the job, so this is kind of after the fact.
Actually, no, Mr. Miller was there and you got to meet him before giving a quote. They saw it.
No,
before.
these here,
Yeah.
that's after the fact, after the job's done, so they know they're not gonna get the job,
No,
so
he already
they
gave us
don't
the
have to
quote
be a
before.
competitive building.
He gave you the quote before, you met him.
Which one came before?
Miller?
Miller. I don't, you see, I don't know any
Yeah.
of these.
Yeah, he was there before. I gave you the
Yeah.
courtesy, I let you know he was there so you could come. and
Right.
meet him.
It's harder to put up tongue and groove than it is drywall. Drywall's a big sheet.
I'm done, I want my tongue and groove ceiling, or I'm not looking to pay for
I
it.
know it's tongue and groove.
Drywall sheet.
Laura, what would you like? I'd like to get past this so we can focus on other things that need done in the township. And I do believe as a contractor, my husband was an electrical contractor, I don't feel that we should stiff anybody.
Not trying to stiff
No, nobody feels that job done, he's paid to do.
Not trying to stiff them.
$600 extra for the lights too. You didn't add it up right.
What do you mean?
Give him half of what he, see what he does. People do that stuff all the time.
I'd be agreeable to pay the man something.
Well, he needs to be paid.
He does. But we need to talk to the ceiling also. Yes.
Yeah, he needs to come here.
Yeah. Why isn't he here?
He was supposed to, but he didn't
Talk
come.
to him, so maybe he might drop the price. Have y'all talked to him? Have you talked to the guy?
He made very little money on this job.
He made $1,200
on
That's what it says.
$600 off the lights. Charge him how out of the
Yeah.
lights.
Who made the decision to put the drywall up?
Contractor apparently.
Well,
The
he can't do
decision was
nothing
made
until
to
two
use
trustees
materials that
approve
would
it.
stay within the budget.
So huh?
We
No.
were to stay inside the budget.
Two trustees have to approve that. And if it wasn't approved by two trustees, the prosecutor ought to look at it.
He has. I've already
Well,
talked to
then he's
him.
not telling you to pay it. I'm not that stupid. I'm not smart, but I'm not stupid either.
Okay, I spoke to the prosecutor, and the prosecutor
Yeah,
said,
you talk to him by yourself, get him down here to talk to all three of you.
well, that could be done.
Yeah, well, you better get it done because he wouldn't get paid until the prosecutor okayed it. For whoever the representative is now, which I suppose is the prosecutor, was back years ago.
Yeah, it still is.
So let him make the determination in front of all of you, not,
The prosecutor
you know, I was
told
a
me,
trustee for 8 years, so I'm not
the
sitting here
prosecutor
being
told me
stupid.
that if a quote comes in within $1,000, if a lower quote came in within $1,000 of what this gentleman paid, that he should be paid.
Still cannot do it without two trustees approving it.
And you can't change it up with just one, you all three gotta do it. All three gotta agree on it.
That's exactly right.
So you're just gonna give the money back to the bank then? Or is he gonna go to go back and then we're not gonna get any grants anymore?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That's what I'm concerned about too, Vaughn. We're asking them, we sent them information, what we were going to do. We didn't do that. So now are they gonna say, well, you didn't do what
The
you're supposed to do
invoice
last
that
time,
was
why?
sent to NOPEC for him did
Well,
have the
evidently,
driveway.
Novak already did the money to do it, so.
On what they were gonna
They
do on the tongue
authorized
and
money for a
groove.
tongue and groove ceiling.
It was paid before it was
The
done.
invoice that NOPEC
You guys are
received
just trying to
had,
make a point for no
had
reason
the
at all.
drywall. That's what they paid on.
Okay, say that again, because I think that NOPEC was billed for tongue and groove.
They were billed for the invoice that was sent to NOPEC was for drywall.
So there's no discrepancy there.
No.
And the money came through on the drywall invoice.
It did.
Again, it goes back to, I think we're in big trouble because we agreed to tongue and groove and they were sent a bill for drywall and against what we agreed on in the meeting. They weren't even billed for what we agreed to get done.
We gotta go get ready for an ice storm.
All right.
Well, this gentleman needs paid some money.
I say let the Portage County courts figure this out.
This gentleman needs paid some money.
His quote was way under all the other quotes, and I had quotes before the job was done.
I'd like to at least get a check cut for him for half of this bill, so he gets some money. It's been over 2 months, and he should get some money. He did work, and he should be paid.
I'd like to get this resolved indefinitely.
Well, there's a motion on the floor for a second to pay, wait for a second to pay the whole thing, which I won't do. You have a motion now on the floor to pay part of the money. I would probably entertain that if it was a motion until we can get this resolved. It's not about what the man did, it's what he didn't do per our agreement at a public meeting is where I'm coming from.
I make a motion that we pay him half of this bill.
Okay, no, there's what, a motion on the floor, no, we need to resolve first, ahead of you.
What motion?
You made a motion for a second to pay this entire bill, nobody seconded that motion.
That was meetings ago. I didn't make any
Is
motions.
there a motion on the floor to pay this whole amount then?
No,
Not today, I haven't made any motions.
Okay. If there's
I'm
not-
making my own
If there's
motion.
not, then we're good, I just wanted to make
I
sure there's
haven't
not two
made any
motions on the floor.
motions.
I'm making my own motion that we give the gentleman half of his quote. His quote was only $11,080. That we make, that we cut him a check for $5,540.
And then what do we do with the remaining balance?
Well, we either have him come back or we have the prosecutor come.
So,
Again, we have to be careful of the prosecutor too, because he can only make recommendations, he is not a judge. He
I
can
know
only
he's
make
not.
recommendations and offer this advice or that advice, but he can't tell us what to do specifically. He can make suggestions based on his knowledge, but a judge is the only one who can make that decision.
and I've already gotten my recommendations from him, which was we pay the bill.
Well, that was the recommendation that I got from him as well.
Okay?
Because it's within $1,000 of the lowest bid, the lowest quote. And we already have the money. We already have the NOPEC money. And there's no motion on the floor right now.
There is none.
I make a motion to turn it over to the Portage County Courts, or the man come back and give us tongue and groove ceilings like we agreed on in the public meeting. Now there is a motion on the floor.
And I would say that motion falls for lack of a second.
Well, I don't think he should not have any money. So I'm going to make a motion that we pay him half of this amount. Which is,
Well, that's already on the floor, isn't it?
what?
That was on the floor.
Well, my question to that is, so then what do? We write off the rest and he doesn't get paid for the rest of his bill? If we just pay for half? That's my question with your motion.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Who was dealing with this contract?
I was, and Ed got the opportunity to
Do
be
you have
here as
text
well.
message or emails stating that there's going to be a change order?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I'd have to look into that further, but I don't believe so.
If he has any records, you have to pay that. If somebody can go ahead, it doesn't matter, text message, email, that's a contract nowadays. Once he said, okay.
And what he's saying is that quote should have had an addendum added onto it to change those materials in order for it to be binding for him to do that work at whatever cost it was at that point.
That's my point exactly.
Nancy, did you have something to add?
Yeah, did we have a contract?
We had an invoice that was approved in the meeting.
Okay, but we didn't have a contract.
No, just an invoice approved at the meeting.
So there was never a original contract in the beginning?
Just an invoice that
Doesn't
was
sound like
approved.
it.
So if you got work, guys got pictures, it's just word of mouth, it's not loud. If you don't have a contract resolved originally, I would be telling him that he has to do this, and try to save the budget. you would give a budget and do what you do.
He was given a budget, correct?
He really wasn't given a budget, we were.
We did not give him the budget. He gave us
a quote.
The quote that we
And
accepted.
we kept him to that amount of money, correct?
But again, it wasn't for the correct materials. I'm sorry.
I mean, until this was a hot topic, no one seemed to have any opinion of what materials we used, so.
Because we all assumed it was gonna be tongue and groove.
Don't make a difference when the foundation is all gonna fall apart anyway.
Are you sure motion is still on the floor, Laura? Because I just don't know what we did with the rest of the money if we do that.
My motion
so-
is still on the floor because I think the man should get paid some money for the work he did.
But not the total amount? I mean, that's a legitimate question. What do we do with the rest of the amount?
Negotiate.
If you don't sit, if you don't do
And his quote is far under everyone else's. I mean, it's like beating a dead horse.
It is beating a dead horse.
Especially with, you know, all of the kindness he showed with all of the painting and patching and it's, well.
The work was done. It's all no-pick money. None of it's coming out of the Deerfield coffers. It's not taxpayers' money. It was no-pick money. 5,000 of it would have been gone. Now, I didn't know that when they put in the no-pack and they say that it has to be done by November 30th, that there's extra time.
And that was just a little wiggle room.
Yeah,
given to us.
okay,
That
so it
wasn't
had to
an
be done by
indefinite
November
extension.
30th, okay? So you utilized NOPEC money that was earmarked. It had to be for the ceiling and the lights. It's not coming out of Deerfield coffers. And the work is done. And if we didn't use it, it's $5,000 gone.
You're a little wrong if you say it was earmarked for that. That NOPEC money
It was
could
for
have been
energy
used-
efficiency.
Could have been used for anything. We could have changed all the lights at the fire department for that same amount of money. We could have put insulation in, so it was not earmarked
We
just for.
earmarked it for that.
We did that. They didn't do that.
We earmarked it for
Okay.
that. So it was earmarked by us for that.
But it was specifically for the ceiling in the old
It
town hall.
was for the ceiling in
Okay.
the old town hall.
And the work's done, and the guy needs paid, and we already have the money, correct?
That is correct.
And it would have been like burning $5,000 if we didn't use it. And we've got two quotes that came in, and they're well beyond what this guy charged. I could see like if somebody sent in a quote and it was $5,000, $6,000, it's not. It's well within reasonable and customary. We got a contractor here that says we weren't gouged.
Again, why did he bid it at that if he had no intention of going under, or if he couldn't do that for that price? Why did he tell us that's what it was gonna cost?
Because he didn't have the time to do the work. I did ask him for a price before we hired anyone, and he was not available to do it.
And we had no other contractor come in to give bids and could do the work by the date.
Correct.
Nobody else came. Was there anybody lined up that said, oh, we'll be there and we're...
Rumor has it, but I've never met this person or saw any.
Was there anybody else, Ed, that was willing to come in and do the work
Not that I know of.
before November 30th?
Not that I know of. Again, was anybody else offered the opportunity to do this work? This guy was
I mean, we
offered
could
the opportunity.
offer
He didn't pick
50
this up out of a
people.
newspaper. He was approached by someone to do this.
I approached him.
Right.
I got quotes, I got 3 quotes, and just to let everybody know, this is not a personal friend of mine. This is someone I've never spent personal time with. This is someone who I've seen his work. He's done work at my home. It worked very well. He was very reasonably priced, which is why I got a quote from him.
But he gave you what you asked for.
He gave
Job
me,
and materials. He
the
gave you what you
intention
asked
was
for
to
at the
fix
price
the
you gave.
ceiling of the old town hall in that budget, and I'm very happy with the work that he did. I think it is
But when
absolutely
you did look
beautiful.
at your house, he quoted you what he did for you, correct?
And sometimes you have to make adjustments with
But he
materials.
quoted for what you did, what you paid for.
I'm sorry?
He quoted what you got, right? He said, this is what you're gonna get for this dollar, correct?
And he gave it to you at that price.
So this job here, he quoted for tongue and groove, he didn't give you tongue and groove. He
We
gave you
had-
something else.
We had
Then
different
you had-
prices of materials.
I understand that. Then you have to come to the board and say, hey, this price has increased. We need to approve the increase.
The intention was to fix the ceiling in that
I
time
understand
frame,
that, but if the
in
price
that dollar
changed,
amount.
if the price changed, you have to get approval. You
If
can't
there
just-
was any inkling that we were going to have discussions for weeks on end about that, doing it differently, I should have done that. I
If the
did not.
price changes, you have to get approval for the change, correct?
The price didn't change, a material changed.
Therefore, the
Because
price changed.
That's a big thing.
The same thing, the material cost changed, so you had to get approval
I mean-
for the tongue and groove.
We're
If you change
beating
it-
a dead horse. This is not
if you
any
change
new
it to
information that has been
drywall,
presented.
then you should come to the board and say, hey, we're not going tongue and groove for that price, we're gonna do drywall.
And because we kept it in the budget in the time frame, we should have, clearly, because so many people are upset about that.
Well, yeah, because if I quote somebody a price for a job I do, and I get there and I do the job and I hand them a bill for a different price, they're not gonna pay me.
I think in the spirit of the intention of what we did, it was exactly what we needed to do. The price was fair, and
I'm not denying the price is fair.
everybody is very
Not
happy with
denying
it,
it.
except, we're being, argumentative about details.
The price was fair.
The price was very
I'm
fair.
not arguing at all.
Right, I understand.
I'm pointing out, if I quote somebody, a customer, I'm gonna do your job for this price, and I go do the job, and the price is different.
And none of this is new information. I mean, this is what's been argued for the last hour in this meeting, so.
I agree, we're right back to where we started. I'm sticking with mine that this was not what we agreed to do. We need to move forward somehow. I did not agree to this, the board did not agree to this change. Therefore, I will not entertain a motion for anything or agree to pay anything.
And your motion has fallen. Laura, do you want to keep your motion or rescind it?
Yeah, I'd like to get the guy at half.
And then, well, once again, what do we do with the balance? That's my question before I agree to that.
Where is the quote, where is the tongue and groove quote? Where is the amount for the tongue and groove quote? 7280? Is that the tongue and groove quote?
Without the lights, correct, that was just the ceiling.
Okay, so, all right, hold on. And what is just the cost of the lights?
That was the, I believe, the
He's got
3,800.
3,800, but again, he has 6 lights at $149 and $1,200, that's only $894, so that's not the cost.
Because there's the assembly and the installation too, that takes more material than just the lights.
And he's got assembly and install separate, $945. I'm only talking about the price to purchase the lights. There's three.
Well, the installation.
There's
and all that is a
$306
part of the
difference.
installation of the lights. That all is one, that all is needed to get the lights hooked up. That's all a part of it. It's not separate. It's just itemized.
Well, when you add up the tongue and groove and the lights, it comes to 1180, because he did the work under the same amount of money.
And the labor is more intensive with the drywall.
I disagree on that.
No. Tongue and groove is very labor intensive, piece by piece,
There's a lot
6
of
inches
cutting.
wide, goes up there with a lot of cutting. Drywall goes up to 40 square feet at a time.
Well, Tyler, as an expert on that, would you elaborate on?
Like I said, as an expert, I'm just telling you that
Well,
tongue
that's
and
why
groove is a
I'm
lot more
asking
labor
someone who gave us a
intensive.
quote.
Yeah, a lot more time on drywall.
A lot more money.
You gotta get it dry, you gotta, obviously, you need the building, we don't have it on for them, but there's a lot more time that goes into doing drywall.
And doing drywall and doing tongue and groove?
Absolutely.
Labor time or just waiting on paint to dry?
Labor time, you gotta go through sand every single thing up there. And you gotta redo it again.
Yes, you may.
I'm really sitting here curious. We rebuild our own home. Wasn't anyone around when this man was doing the work?
Oh, we were all in and out.
So you saw that he was putting up the drywall and nobody said anything to him?
I was happy we were under budget.
So this man was under the impression that he may have quoted you the tone and groove, but I am now doing the drywall and nobody is saying anything negative to me of doing the
Right.
drywall.
No one said anything to him.
See, that's the part I don't understand, because if, I mean, I've hired someone to do our whole house is tongue and groove. And if I would have, if I would have walked in and the man's putting up drywall, I'm like, whoa, you know, immediately
I mean, I think we
stop.
were looking for a fight, but yes, no one stopped him.
That's what I don't understand.
I didn't stop him because I
understand
was
it
out of
either.
state. I was in Hilton Head on vacation.
But
and
if you would have
4
walked
days
in
prior to
there.
that, 4 days prior to that, I was sick with COVID, and I
Okay.
recovered. We went to Hilton Head for a week, so there's 11 or 12 days. I
And
was
they
not in
worked
the
on it
place.
for
I came back, immediately went in. There was drywall up there as opposed to concrete.
And
I
you
questioned it immediately.
Yes.
Where's our concrete?
See what I'm saying? The man didn't know, obviously.
And nobody approved to have the job done.
Nope.
What was the reason? Why, how did it get done? 2 trustees have to approve it.
I mean, once again, we've gone over all of this, so this is beating a dead horse about.
No, we're being a
conversation.
deep horse already. The township's losing money. I don't care where the money's from. It all went to the township.
We're not
But the
losing
job
money.
was hired to be done. It was not
There's no
done.
money lost.
There's no money lost.
There's no money lost, huh?
No.
Whatever comes to this township, there is a money loss if it's not done properly. And I'd go back to where that money came from and tell them the job was not prorated for that money. And if I was Ed, that's what I would do.
Well, I think we need to move forward.
Just
Do you
wasn't my-
want to, what is your motion, Laura?
I want to give him half the money.
Okay, and then, once again, what do we do with the balance? What, is that a part of your motion? We just give him half the money and we don't pay him the rest of the balance?
I mean, this is going to have to be negotiated.
I mean, in what way? What is your proposal?
Well, first of all, the guy needs paid some money. And my husband's gone, but my husband was an electrical contractor for years, and he's appalled when contractors aren't paid. So, and I agree with them 100%.
And
The guy needs
again, we're
paid.
punishing him for our dispute.
He needs paid. I mean, right now, what amount would you be happy giving this guy? Okay, because he needs to be paid. Or we're gonna have a reputation of a township that doesn't pay their bills, and I don't want that. That doesn't pay contractors. Okay, would you be happy with 10,000?
I will vote no, other than my tongue grew ceiling for the dollar amount at this point in time.
Well, he needs to be paid. So the bill is $11,080, which is well below. And I mean, is there any way we can negotiate this down? What if we negotiate? What if we say we offer you 10?
I mean, I think he made so little profit on this. I mean, if that's what you want to do, we can. I don't know that that's really fair to him.
Well, part of this job is negotiating, and part of being, involved in this stuff, you have to negotiate, okay? Not everybody's gonna be happy, but the gentleman needs to be paid. So, I'm gonna make a motion that we cut him a check for 10,000.
You already had a motion on the floor to
Well, I'm
pay
gonna
$5,500 or
rescind,
something.
I'm gonna rescind that. I'm gonna rescind that.
That makes the situation even worse then.
Why? Why does it make it worse?
It'll make it no better.
If you send him half of the money, you're already guilty. You owe him the money.
That's right.
Don't pay nothing and have somebody straighten this out.
A judge
Very good.
You want to see a signed contract for the drywall. Who signed that contract for the drywall? Did Ed? Did she? Did you?
I did not.
I know you did not, because you weren't even here.
I wasn't.
Did Mark sign it? No. So if that contract's void, totally void, if not one of these trustees signed it. If somebody signed that, we want to see the signed contract.
So Laura, what is your motion?
To find the closest bridge.
Don't jump.
Yeah, well, it's not worth jumping over.
No.
But I mean, this is.
I've never imagined we would have such an
Yeah,
argument over
this
something
is,
like
this is, every problem can be negotiated out. And that's part of, you
But we
know.
did this meeting so that he was supposed to be here, that's what everybody
I
thought.
know he was invited to be here.
To talk.
He decided not to
I think
because
she
he didn't
asked
think it
him.
would be productive.
She asked.
And I can see why he feels that way.
I just can't believe that
Exactly.
there's this much rigmarole over a ceiling in an old dilapidated town hall. I quite frankly, I'm
Really not over the ceiling. It's over the fact it wasn't done the way we expected it to be done.
but it's done, it looks nice.
All somebody had to
Till
do
somebody
was
starts jacking
bring
it
this
up.
up at a meeting
Well,
before you
we've
did.
already
gonna stay together
heard
too?
that stuff
Is the
moves
Tongan
no
group
matter
gonna
what.
stay together too
the
when they
truth.
jack it up?
That's,
It's gonna be a real strong with them.
So Laura, do you want to rescind that motion?
Drywall, correct.
I'll rescind it.
I would like to make a motion pending the prosecutor's advice and that the quotes are all well within range, that we pay this bill, that we've already received the money from NOPEC for $11,080. That is my motion.
I really would like to be done and over this so that we can move on to other things in the township that have greater concern.
Better let a judge or
Then abstain and we'll go before the judge.
That's right. You paying half and it's not over. You're paying whole and it's still not over.
Well, the problem is if you pay him $10,000, he could still sue us over that.
We owe him the entire amount.
He
did a beautiful job.
I don't begrudge the man for wanting to get paid.
I don't
At all.
either, and he's
I
been
don't
very
begrudge the
patient.
man to get paid.
Nor
I've been
do
in
I.
there, I looked the ceiling looks nice. Okay, you're in there. You've seen the ceiling.
The only thing I've seen is not painted. It needs some more paint.
It needs more paint. Well, that's a minor
Is it
thing,
paid?
huh?
It's flat, it's so thin.
Oh.
It's flat paint.
It's flat paint.
Wow.
Okay, don't like flat
Faded,
paint.
it's faded. Like, it's a big town hall. And I'm not gonna fill the tanks, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna have the tanks filled, because I'm over the propane. I'm not gonna have them filled until this mess is settled. We're not gonna move in until this mess is settled. Because if we move in and he has to come back in, or somebody comes back in and put another ceiling in,
Oh,
we gotta
please,
move back out.
I don't want to hear about any ceiling getting ripped out or replaced.
We may not wanna hear that, Laura, but we don't wanna move in and have to move back out,
I understand.
you know.
That's what the
And
judge
that was a
does.
job, that was really a heck of a job trying to get all that stuff out. And we gotta have it moved out by spring, not first, so where are we gonna put
Yeah,
it?
right.
Well, that's a meeting for the historical society.
Yeah, that'll be your deal.
I just don't wanna move in there until it's, this is
Absolutely.
settled.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean. Yeah, it does need a little more paint on the ceiling, it does. You know, I mean, that can be done easy and it's no costly thing, but. But I'm just concerned with putting heat in there.
So where are we at now then? No motion and then seconded it?
Nope.
We're right where we started.
My goodness, this is we have the money's already here from no taxes, we have it.
Huh?
Yeah, they
Right?
confirmed.
We've been paid.
Yes.
Okay. lost? Can you tell me that?
Would have lost.
If we wouldn't have used
Yeah.
by November 30th, how much money would the township have lost on the
The
no-tech
total
grant
for the
money?
November 30th was $11,656.47.
But
We used some of
already
that money.
had to use 3,000 and something.
Well, we
The
had
rest-
already used some of that.
Yeah, but the rest was still, it was older.
It was older money,
Older money.
$30 or something like that, that
It was,
we had to
it was,
use
it was
before
just
that.
under
$3,000
$4,000.
in that short period of time. The rest of the money was in escrow.
Okay. Well, based on the fact that the quote that came in was well below what the other quotes were, we would have lost, what, 4,000?
Approximately.
4,000 on this had we not got it done. The work's done, the gentleman needs paid. The prosecutor advised me that if quotes came in and they were within $1,000 of the lowest bid, to pay. So the motion's on?
I made a motion.
All right. To
pay this invoice that we already have the money from NOPEC for, yes, for $11,080.
all right. Before I say this, I'm gonna say going forward, we need written signed contracts on everything.
Oh, I would agree, which is why I'm asking
Written
to see
signed
everything
contract
moving
on
forward.
everything.
Agreed.
So that we don't run into this issue again. And this is really hard because I was not part of this when this all went down. I was not a trustee, but I also understand that sometimes decisions have to be made that not everyone will like, and negotiation has to take place. So the motion on the floor is to pay the man?
It is.
Then I'm going to second it, so that we can get done and move on. I think we've argued and fought long enough over this. And in the future, everything in writing, so that we don't ever have to deal with this again.
Whether it's done by insurance,
Done by anything, so that we don't have this again. And if we ever have a change in quote.
Contract.
Written contract.
You don't make any
Yes.
changes
Whether
unless
NOPEC is
it's
paying
done
for it,
and
insurance, anything.
Everybody licensed, bonded, and insured.
100%.
And written contract. So there you go.
Do you want a roll call?
Ed? Yeah, I need Ed's vote first.
No,
Okay, roll call vote. Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
no to an illegal motion.
And Tiffany?
Yes.
I'm gonna go too.
Okay.
This is the most agonizing thing that I've been through in a long time.
Old business, any other old business? We talked about the damage to the circle that was updated already. New business. At our last meeting, we negotiated salaries for everybody. And I've had some time to reflect on that and to consider one of the increases that we made, which was to our part-time fiscal officer, assistant. We gave her a 2% increase, which is actually below cost of living, and she didn't get an increase last year. And after having some time to think about that and reflect on that, that's not really what my wish would be. I would like for Nancy to get an additional 2% increase in her salary, bringing her up to 4% for the 2024 year. And that's a motion. I move to raise her another 2% in her salary.
Nancy, I appreciate everything you do and everything you've done over the years, and I'm going to second that motion.
I'll vote yes.
Roll call. Laura?
Yes.
Ed?
Yes.
And Tiffany?
Yes. I don't have anything else.
I do. She brought it up about not being able to hear.
Okay.
Do we need to purchase some audio equipment and video equipment? So I have a separate question though.
Yes.
Do we have videos of these meetings uploaded on our website or not?
After they're approved, after minutes are approved, I put the minutes.
Videos.
I link the YouTube.
Yeah.
The township
Okay,
does not have
so,
their own videos.
again, I'm
I'm
just
sorry, I
asking.
can't hear you.
No, township does not have their own videos.
No,
If that's
I
what
just
you
put
were
a,
asking.
it's just a link. But I put the minutes up on the website every time I get them.
How do you do the minutes? Just scan them in and put them in there, or what do you
Copy
do?
and paste after they're approved.
Okay, I didn't know how you guys did that, so, but anyway, she can't hear, I think we should buy some audio equipment that we could, maybe better speakers around the room, maybe a microphone up here, I don't know what the solution is, and I also think that we should probably buy our own video equipment so that we're recording our own meeting that could be put right onto our website without linking a public citizen's video. Not saying,
Kind of thank you.
not saying anything's wrong, I'm just saying that is that actually, how do we know it's not an unaltered, unedited, whatever video? I'm just saying, I'm not saying anything, but as a township perspective, wouldn't we be better to be responsible for our own video rather than take someone after the fact from the public and post it as official on our website?
I'm not against discussing that, but I think there's more factors that come into that than just buying equipment.
Okay, again, I'm asking, I don't know,
Right.
I'm not a
Who does the
video guy.
videotaping? Who sets it up? Do we
Yeah.
hire somebody? You know, I know
Yeah.
some townships hire people, which is an additional cost.
Yep.
We get Dan for free,
We have
whether we want him or
a
not.
person that's pointing to speakers on the wall. So we already have speakers.
They're probably not Bluetooth or anything, those, but yeah, they're wired in the back, I don't know. I'm just asking, I just think we need to look into moving forward with our own audio equipment and video equipment, so that when we post a video, it is a township-owned video. And again, nothing against Dan. Anybody in here could provide us with a video that we upload, and now we're saying that that's an official record, when it is, but it is not, because we didn't approve it. And it's not our ownership. So how do we know if it was altered prior to that? Not saying again, not throwing anything out there, but for our own well-being and legalities, we need to be able to do our own videos if we're going to do and say, this is our video. We recorded this, it's on our website.
Do you have
That's
some
right.
ideas of
No.
equipment or quotes or something?
No, I don't. I just thought about this and I wanted to bring it up. That's something we need to seriously look into and get money on. I don't know who does this kind of stuff. I don't know.
I don't either.
So.
What was easier?
In other words, if you do it yourself, then if you three don't feel like it should be televised or whatever you call it, you don't do it.
Oh, no, everybody in this room could come in and set up a camera, it's totally legal. But how can the board, when you give us access to that, then 2 or 3 days later, a week later, how do we know that that is the exact one? How do we know it wasn't altered? And I'm not saying against anybody, I'm just saying that that's a very real situation that could happen.
Yeah.
And then we're liable because we accepted that as
It has happened.
I see.
Open Meetings Act
Not
record.
here.
We accepted that where mayor, I don't think it meets the criteria to be allowed.
I understand.
I happen to be an expert in that topic, and that is, the problem is his video is a public record or not. Is it, does he accept the responsibility of preserving it, all the requirements of the Public Records Act? And the answer is, I bet he doesn't. So his video has no status whatsoever as for the board's record. If you want to have that, you have to pay for it. There's nothing free in life. And so do you want to pay for it, or do you want to go without it? But I'm not going to, if I sue this, I'm not going to subpoena his videos. And you're not going to be able to do it either. So your the videos that he does are nice, but they're for his own use. Not for the
Would you like them off of the website?
It's up to you guys. You hit it on the head, Mr. Ames. we've talked about this before. I just upload it, people watch them. I don't modify them, but for the board to say, oh, well, here's our movie, or here's our videos, that's a lot of liability. And we have had the board taken into court, and nobody sitting at the board right now made the comment before, oh, well, all of our videos are on YouTube. We're not gonna fulfill the public records request, it's on YouTube. Well, it's not the board that's maintaining the record, it's not a public record, so.
Yeah, and you can decide to give it to us, or you can decide, no, I'm not giving you this one. So we never know when it's going to be on our website or when it's not going to be, which is another problem with me. It's either going to be or it's not going to be, as far as I'm concerned.
And it's just been a link right from
Yeah,
YouTube,
yeah, no.
so it's not like.
I mean, I don't care to have the traffic,
Again, I'm not
I don't make
saying
money,
anything
so it
detrimental to you.
doesn't.
I'm just trying to protect the board in case of legal issues coming up later.
No judge will show that anyhow because it's not effective.
Right.
Not admissible in court, so it doesn't do good at all. And that's your reading.
I'm sorry, I can't hear
What was
you.
done during COVID when people weren't?
That was before Tiffany, but I think they were.
What was the
paid-
what?
What was done before COVID? The township hired someone.
During
to
COVID, we
videotape.
had money, and it was specified through the COVID to hire a company to do it, and I'd have to look up who it was. They actually were a company that was.
That's what
They did it on.
And this has been a hot topic in some other townships.
Yeah, I don't want it to be a hot topic in our township.
We have enough hot topics.
Yes.
I concur with that.
I-
We all agree on something.
I think you guys start with the microphones and the speakers, because, I mean, I had to purchase a mic just to pick you guys up. So I think that the whole microphone and speakers thing is where I would start.
Yeah.
And then research into the video, because at least people here can hear you,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that's protected, they should be able to hear, right? So, I mean, you don't wanna run down that road.
Sometimes on the
people can
U,
always
when you
come
take
closer.
that, we watch it on the phone there, you
You
still
can't hear,
can't hear.
and that's an external mic
Yeah.
pegged out.
Still can't hear.
Yeah.
Can't hear. It works too.
If you have a
But just get a
speaker
microphone and
and you
speak.
can capture it, you can produce a podcast then without video, it would just be audio, and you could own that.
Yeah.
It would be a step to the
We can
direction
shoot right from this.
right, would be a step in the direction towards doing a full video, but it would be a much cheaper option if you did the microphones. You can easily capture it from your microphone.
Although people really do, we get a lot of viewers watching the meeting and staying up to date, and not everybody has the luxury to come. It's difficult for some
Sitting in the
people.
White House.
Well, we can all do a little research and see if we can bring some ideas and quotes to our next meeting.
Okay.
Anything else today?
I just have one more statement, and I know nobody did it on purpose. Nancy's here as a part-time employee doing the minutes and everything.
Assistant fiscal officer.
Yeah, we totally ignored our elected official officer when we decided to do this meeting Friday at noon. We didn't even ask Kristy, can you come to this meeting and do it? We went right to Nancy and said, Nancy, can you be there? I know you don't come in at 1:30, can you be there? Kristy was sitting there, was totally overlooked. She's an elected official. I think we did her very much wrong.
We opened it
by
up
doing
for
it.
discussion.
I didn't think about this afterwards, but
And that was not intentional, it was opened up for discussion.
But Kristy is our elected official officer. She is responsible for the minutes, the preparation of the minutes, public records. She has to produce them. So, to me, I don't really like having a meeting without our elected fiscal officer here. And I guess I don't know what the legal status of that is, but I think we should do better with our. Again, I don't know if that's a legal issue or not. I really don't.
And everything Nancy's done in this place, it's all been her.
Oh, I'm not saying anything against Nancy at all.
But she's done more as a part-time than she probably's done as a full-time.
Yeah. And
No
again,
one argues that Nancy's not.
And again, nothing against Nancy whatsoever.
No.
It's just that I think we totally overlooked our fiscal officer, and basically it was a slap in the face to her, because we didn't ask her, can you be here? First question was, Nancy, can you
Been a
come in?
long time since I.
It was all open to
been working
discussion, I
with
mean,
Nancy.
she
Yeah,
certainly
and
was open up.
again, I thought about this afterwards. That's all I'm bringing it up now, so.
Did you not elect a new fiscal officer?
They don't go in until April 1st.
Oh, okay.
Their term starts April 1st.
That's fine.
There's a learning period between the first year and April 1st
Okay.
that they do on their own, and then they come in April 1st.
I know, I'm sitting here thinking.
All right, that's all I have.
All right, anything else? So I move we adjourn the meeting and pay our bills.
I second it.
You tabled the thing about the video.
We're gonna look into get prices and stuff and ideas.
Don't we have a microphone here?
There was, but I don't think.
We've got 30 that plugs in right up there. It's got the sound on it, but it doesn't go through these speakers.
It's old.
So if anyone has a great idea about the audio and wants to share it share it with us, feel free to reach one of us and let us know. We'll do some digging.
I vote yes.
Yes.
Who made the motion?
I did.
And who seconded?
I don't know.
Laura did.
Laura,
I did.
I lost track.
And Andrew voted?
Yes.
Okay. Laura?
Yes.
Speakers, yeah.
Yes.
The table itself with 2 end speakers.
Yeah.
Two mics and 2 end speakers.
Yeah. When Katrina, she got it, she puts it on the thing.
Yes.
You're all set.
So everyone else is okay in the town.
Oh, perfect.
Perfect. It's
Oh,
right on the money. Huh? Fire department,
She bought it. You guys. I wish I did.
You'll get in line twice, right?
I got some soup in the corner.
Don't go down, sit down.
That would just do it, right?